Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about the Mage Punk Gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I think you're right to an extent.
Not a lot. They're both big butts. So
Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. I guess you all set.
Mine is too.
yep.
All right.
Yeah,
All
don't
right,
go
let's
last.
start it up.
It's either damn
No, I
close.
did it last time.
No. It's
Yeah,
Ben
but
this
you
time.
just beefed it up.
No, that's not how this works.
No, because remember last time Matt blustered it,
Yeah. Well, I still had to do it.
or that was the first time.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I
Because
just don't
yeah,
go
because I
back
did the
on one of
intro.
them.
Yeah.
Weren't we recording for like 10 minutes? And then I was like, wait a minute.
We're having great conversation
We
too.
were, oh well, lost to the ages, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, you can go for. Oh wait, damn it, stupid clap sync.
All right, yeah, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. That was really off timing.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's not
I
gonna
only
matter.
heard me.
It's not
no
gonna
one.
matter.
The only person that clapped was me.
That's fine. So Sapio, welcome back to the pod. Let's check in with Nick first. How we doing?
Good. Ready for playoffs. Ready to get hurt again in the playoffs.
Good old Cavs fans. Let's pop into Matt. How are you doing? Islanders played their last game the other day.
They did. Big Z got a goal in what could be his last game, so I know you're probably happy about that.
I did. He had a nice Instagram post today.
But yeah, good time. Just been finishing up my final stuff, playing golf. Worked on the short game a little bit today, but having a good time. Ready to watch playoffs from somebody on the outside, which I haven't done since a while. But yeah, not bad.
Nice. How about you, Chris?
man.
Or excuse me, Chris?
Doing good. Wrapping up senior year. About to been enjoying about to be enjoying number 16th playoff run in a row. Penguins. I believe that's longest active streak in major North American sports. So should be a real good time. It's gonna be a long run too. Also, over the weekend I had the opportunity to go to a Young Gravy concert. I do not recommend.
No.
Sorry, Gravy, if you listen to this, but
Yeah, he's a freak
Your
of
music-
listens to the podcast.
your music's not for me.
Was he playing at college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that like all he does?
I don't know.
He was at my school last
yeah.
semester.
I was gonna say he's been going to like a bunch of colleges.
Yeah, I guess so.
We had a something that my school did. We did a drag queen bingo night the other night.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was
Sounds
something.
strange.
It's something.
You know, Ben. I'll ask the question. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, I'm not really that
Nobody
great.
ever
actually.
asks the host the question.
Feeling a little sick. Feel kind of trash. Kind of want to go to bed right now, but I need to come on and defend the Boston Bruins. So that's what I'll be doing. So I think we should hop right into the playoff predictions.
You think so? I think we should go through series by series,
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
and then we
No,
can go
I mean,
through our
that-
picks
that
in the
first.
next series and whatnot.
Well, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry not to take the reins here, but as the Eastin and Feastin podcast, I feel like obligated to start in the East.
I feel
And
like
I thought it was the Weaston.
we go to the Weaston and Easton podcast with a little bit of a feast sometimes.
Okay. Excuse me.
Ooh.
Be happy I held that in.
The burp counter.
Check that off your bingo card.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's one. So top
the
of my
center square.
screen, I see Florida and Washington. So let's get into this. I have Florida in 4.
I also have Florida in 4. Ben?
I'll go next. Yeah, I have Florida in 6.
I have Florida in 5.
Okay, looks like
Wow.
we got a little bit of a consensus.
I'm
here.
not based for the Caps, dude.
No. I never said you were based. Can I say why I think Florida? I mean, I think that's a good matchup for Florida, obviously, because I think the Caps have struggled. I think a bit at the end of the year, but this is me just purely putting money on Ovi actually showing up in the playoffs this year. And how does their injuries look? And like, I'm not sure how they're going into this.
Everyone's kind of healthy, but team kind of ended pretty rough in the season, and
Goaltending's
Yeah.
still a question for
But,
Goaltending's pretty shaky. Vanacek is supposed to start, but
main reason,
turns out to be okay at the end.
main reason I also went with Florida in 6, not in 4, or 5, like you guys did, is because I don't think they have Aaron Ekblad coming back
Yeah.
right away initially.
Yeah.
I think
Is he supposed to come back at all?
I think so. I think he's supposed to come back in around the first round of the playoffs, maybe round 2, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think without him, they're going to be hurting a little bit, even though they did just get the President's Trophy and ended with 13 wins straight or something like that.
Which
But
is
I was
not
about to
fair.
say, as a member of the team sweep in this series, they just won 13 straight without Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know all about playing without Ekblad.
Mhm.
Fantasy hockey. That's why I lost.
Okay.
The
But-
only positive looks I see for the Caps are maybe because we're playing an actual team where we're the underdog.
True.
They might actually come to play because the last 3 playoffs we get bounced in the first round because we kind of don't take a team seriously. So
very interesting. I think that's a good point because the Caps usually come in as one of the top teams and then
That's
kind of
true.
get come up
you
on
get
behind.
bounced by wild cards.
Yeah, and then get bounced by a wild card. So
And
I
also
think they
last
have a
time played
shot
Bob
in this
bad,
series,
so
but not a whole. I don't think they have a foot in just because Florida is so good. Their roster is insane.
Very nasty.
All right, well
Cool.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good
That's
breakdown
what
on
we
that
have
one.
there. Toronto and Tampa. I have Tampa in 6.
I also have Tampa in 6.
Toronto in 7.
All right, just so everyone knows, we
Oh.
don't know each other's
Yeah,
brackets.
we don't know each other's brackets.
Yeah, we
yet.
don't know each other's
This
brackets.
is the first we're hearing of these, so
I have
there's
Tampa
no
Bay
collusion.
Lightning in 5.
Okay.
Wow, someone
Nick,
doesn't like the Maple Leafs.
Nick, you said you have
Well-
Toronto in 7?
If you
Yeah.
got Toronto, why is
Yep.
Toronto going to break this streak of what, 14 years or something? I don't even know how long. No,
Every-
definitely not 14.
Every
4.
streak like
Let's
that
hear why.
ends
Let's hear
eventually.
why Nick.
4 or something,
Let's
I
hear
don't
why
know.
Nick says Toronto thinks they can get through the first round.
Well, I think they are a better team offensively. Start.
They have Austin Matthews.
They have Austin Matthews. I don't know. I think their team was a lot better than they set the franchise record for points this season. So this is the best regular season Leafs team of all time. So I don't know. I just have a different feeling about this year. I think they beat Tampa Bay in 7. I think Tampa Bay will win their games at home. But I think Toronto pulls it out.
And
I also think Jack Campbell's a little underrated, as in he's going to do better than people think in the playoffs.
Well,
Can
I think
I
the reason,
respond?
just before you go, Ben, I think the reason for that with Jack Campbell is because he struggled really, really bad recently.
Yeah.
Past month, 2 months maybe, he was not great. And I think is he hurt or were they just sitting him?
He was hurt.
He was
but that
hurt for a while.
ago.
I think
Well,
they're
I'm
kind of
talking
low.
like-
They're
I'm talking
like
resting
this
him a
week.
bit now, but
I'm talking.
he also has been struggling with injuries.
I
Kind of
think
the
he
whole
was hurt, Matt.
after the All-Star game. He's been a mess. First of
Yeah.
all, he went on a horrible record, and then he got hurt and just
Mhm.
has been awful. So
The other thing that hasn't helped is he hasn't had anyone to back him up.
I don't know this Colgren kid. People think Toronto. I think was very questionable in net, and that's the first thing I'll say about that. Tampa Bay has no question in net. Toronto definitely has questions with Campbell because if he has a bad game or two, they're yanking him out of the net right away. And you're not doing that with Vasilevsky, not in a million years.
And the
You'll-
They're
problem
they'll
with
put him
not
back in the net.
yanking Campbell.
Campbell's healthy. Mrazek's hurt.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
but they would put the Colgren kid in. I think if
After
if
one
Campbell
bad
has-
game,
I said 1 or 2, but yes. The next thing I'll say about that take, Nick, is that I think if it goes to 7 games, there's not a chance Toronto wins this. Toronto historically in Game 7s is a mess,
in Toronto.
and I don't think that matters.
Allegedly.
I think
I
that
mean,
they're bad in Game 7s no matter where they are, and
Even-
especially because this team's defense is flawed and Tampa Bay is built for the playoffs. Like their players
They
who
are.
have been hot this season are going to be hot, and their players who have been cold this season are going to be hot. Like you can guarantee that with a Tampa Bay Lightning team.
their depth is a lot weaker than it has been in the past, though. So
I think it is and it isn't. I think their top lines are even better now that Stammer is playing to where he has been this year, and Kucherov and Point are going to be lighting it up as well.
Well, Point's not
Yeah,
had
but
a great year.
that's not their
Point had a
depth.
bad year.
That's their top two lines.
I know. I'm saying they're going to make up for their depth.
Okay.
Much like I think that the Toronto Maple Leafs don't have like as good as depth as people think they do.
Well, I think the question is going to be, even though Toronto's playing at home in Game 7, is Marner going to score more goals than he flips pucks out of the? I think that's a big question.
That's another thing. Are these guys going to be able to get their heads around like actually playing as a team this year?
Well, that's the
or
thing
is it going
too,
to be?
right?
Is it going to be the Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, like mess around again?
That's the thing, right? So they've fumbled the bag so many times in a row with such good teams that they're at the point now where it's like, okay, if we don't do anything this playoffs again, what the hell are we doing? It's the same thing with like Edmonton. You know, they have the two best players in the world, or two of the best players in the world on their team. If they fumble the bag again, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be certainly going to be weighing on them, which is not good. And Tampa Bay is in the perfect position because they have nothing to lose. They won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. You know what I mean? If they win another one, good for them. If they don't win another one, they still won 2 Stanley Cups in a row.
And they have everything to gain from this too.
Right.
Like if they can, and I will say, besides from Vegas now, Toronto is the most hated team left in the playoffs for sure.
Well,
like absolutely. Like if you have you looked at any of the like
Tampa Bay
stats
is
or
probably more hated.
I don't think so. Like the waiver wires stats for the Toronto Maple Leafs, every time they drop someone to waivers, people are constantly putting in submissions just to try and like screw over the Toronto Maple Leafs because they're so
You
cocky.
mean in GM's eyes?
Yes, I mean in
Okay.
GM's eyes and
in
in
fans,
team's
and I'm
eyes.
like, I don't see
I was
that.
like, well,
I see
New York Rangers.
a lot of people, a lot of like fans on Twitter and stuff.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
well, now I want to pull for Toronto just because it'll be a crazy story if they win the
Yep.
playoff round.
Right.
Absolutely. But I don't know. I don't see Toronto going out of the first round here. I think Tampa Bay, their defense is just better. Especially, I don't think Toronto added enough pieces that are
Mark
actually.
Giordano's been pretty good
He
since
has
he
been
got
good.
traded.
Yeah, but I would take probably 3 or 4 defenders on Tampa Bay before I take Giordano.
Really?
Defense wins championships.
Defense does
When
win
you have a great
championships.
defense and the best goalie, it's tough to beat.
Yeah. Yep.
He is
True.
not the best goalie.
If you're looking for a goalie discussion,
Debate for another day.
We already
debate for
did
another
this.
day.
He
We
is
already did
not
this.
his stats this season are similar to Jack Campbell.
This is a good time to go back and listen to our previous podcast.
I don't know if
I
I ever uploaded that one, to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, that didn't get
Oh,
It
uploaded.
was like the
shit.
first test
The
one.
audio was bad.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Well, if you can find it,
Actually, the audio was non-existent. I think.
No, the audio's there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
Well,
haven't
it was
uploaded
bad.
it.
I don't know.
I think we've made our point for this.
I think the
I
whole
think so.
right side of the Lightning defense is terrible. So Jan Ruta, Eric Chernak, and Cal Foote.
Yep, the left side's nasty.
It's who they play with. Hedman.
Yeah,
I'd
Wait,
Hedman,
insert Jake McDonald.
Chernak's not terrible though.
Chernak's not great.
Do they not have McDonough? Is he hurt?
It's Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev. They're all lefties.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Still, I mean, their team is so good. I don't see them getting bumped in the first round.
Neither do I. All right. Well, this is one I actually wanted to talk about. So let's go to Carolina and Boston. See what we had. I have the Bruins in 7.
Grip.
I have the Bruins in 2. No, just kidding. I have Carolina in 5. Although I was really wrestling with the idea to put the Bruins beating the Canes for the second round matchup, and then have a sweep in the second round. But we'll get into that
Nice.
later.
I have Carolina in 5.
Great choice.
Wow. Okay, I have Boston in 6.
Well, let me say why I think Boston wins this series. Okay. I am not scared in the slightest of Carolina. I know before this I was saying, well, before we started this podcast, I was talking to Chris. I was saying the only team that really doesn't scare me that much is Washington. But another team that really doesn't scare me is Carolina, especially the matchup they drew against Boston. Boston is built for the playoffs. They're like they're going to grind every single game out. I can hear you snicker in the background. They're
I'm
gonna grind
laughing through
every
this
single
whole
game out.
thing.
Fine with me.
Oh man.
They're going to grind every game out, and Carolina just doesn't have the counter for that. They don't have the toughness to beat Boston in the playoffs, and that's why I think Boston wins the series in 7. Go
Can
ahead.
I?
Retort.
Can I?
Let
let
Nicholas
me
make
answer-
his
let me
piece.
The
answer
best
one thing.
team in the
Jordan
Metropolitan
Martin.
Division is not a threat.
Okay, we'll just see what happens.
Jordan,
That's what
Martin
you're
has
saying. That's what you're
there's
saying.
toughness.
Fine with
The
me.
number 1 team in the Metropolitan is not a threat.
Um,
I think
Okay.
there's. I think there. I'll
Okay.
tell you right now. If the Carolina Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup, I will pay you $20 and serve you a fancy meal that I cook myself.
I don't need you to pay me. I hate the Carolina Hurricanes.
with a well done burger.
Yeah, I'll
I
make you.
hate-
I'll make you a well done burger.
I hate the
Carolina.
Carolina
You eat it,
Hurricanes,
Matt, and
but
then you have
like,
to eat it.
No, that's not gonna happen.
but I don't think they're gonna get pushed around.
No,
have- Like Jordan
Carolina's
Martinook
not a
hits.
team that gets pushed around. What
Especially their
happened to Jordan
defense.
Staal? I'm looking at their lines right now.
Yeah,
What
he's
happened?
not in their lineup,
And he's
He
not
is
on the
a-
IR. I think they probably just
He got injured. I
He
think.
probably just didn't play the last game. He's not on
Jordan
their. He's not injured on their injured list though.
Oh,
It's just Anderson and Gardner.
yeah.
yeah.
Can I say one of my biggest reasons for? I mean, obviously because I'm a Bruins fan, but
Sure.
also from like looking at it, for
Just
why they
before
could
you
win
start,
this.
it did pain me to take the Bruins, but I was trying to
Someone
not be
echoing?
biased.
Yeah, someone's definitely echoing. I think make sure to turn on your noise suppression if you have it.
Sorry, keep going.
The main thing for me is that Freddie Anderson. It's definitely you, Chris.
I've heard it.
Freddie Anderson's not starting game 1. He's out for the series right now. I mean, he could come back in the middle of it, but he's not starting this series, and he is their guy. I would take Jeremy Swayman or Linus Ullmark 10 times out of 10 before I take Antti Ranta.
See, Ronta's been
And-
pretty solid.
He's not been better than either one of those guys. And especially the way the Bruins ended this season, they're on fire right now. Their top 2 lines are heating up. And I think that they have one of the best third lines in hockey right now, too. Their third line is stacked with the players they have on there. And Eric Halla is a beast right
He
now.
is playing really well right now.
And guess who they just got back?
Who's
Hampus
that?
Lindholm as well. They're one of the healthiest teams going into playoffs. And
These lines
I-
are updated.
I like
so.
what they're looking to bring in.
I mean, daily faceoffs lines have their last game where they basically rested everyone. So,
Yeah.
but I think I could say confidently they have the Canes have a better defense by far.
I would I'd argue that. But I think that you could compare a lot of the players on there.
I mean, Tony DeAngelo is almost a point per game. Jacob Slavin's like one of the best lockdown defenders in the league. Brady Shea's solid. Pesky is a little overrated, but he's okay. Ian Cole, he's had a good season. Ethan Bear is okay. I think, like the Bruins.
I think I would take
defense-
probably the best 2-way defender in the league. Over
Victor Hedman?
no
Roman
not
Josi?
Roman Yossi's on the Bruins.
Roman Josi.
yeah.
Roman Yossi's the best offensive, I'd say.
Dude, oh.
No, that's probably no. Okay. If you want to make that point, you can pick at what I'm saying, but I would take the Bruins defense before I take that team. I don't think their team is. I think the Bruins defense has more. They bring more energy, they bring more heat than that team does, and I think Matt's got a point. I think this team is a little boring, and I think this team doesn't. Their lines don't match up well with the Bruins playoff power.
Well, that's not what I said. I didn't say boring. I think
I think they
Matt,
are.
sorry.
I think Carolina is. I just have the gut feeling that you see Carolina matched up with the Bruins in their first round. You're like, oh, Carolina wins this easy. They're gonna fly all over the Bruins. But there's that little gut feeling in the back of my mind that says the Bruins are always really annoying to play against in playoffs. And that's the same reason that the Islanders were able to do well in playoffs a couple of seasons. Their team is not good. You go down the line, every player is worse than the player on the other team. But it's the cohesiveness and the way they play the game that makes them win. So that's why I just have that gut feeling that Boston's going to make trouble in the playoffs.
Also, I mean, Boston chose this matchup too. Like we rested all those guys in the last game of the season because we didn't want to play Toronto. We didn't want to play one of the big dogs in the Atlantic because we wanted this Carolina matchup, which tells me that the team thinks that they can beat them, and I think they can. So
So my
I-
biggest thing in this is my biggest reason for taking the Canes is I don't see the Bruins goalies being able to do it, because the thing is the playoffs aren't a tandem time.
Well,
It's workhorse season. You play one guy pretty much.
unless you have Soro and
Unless he
Varley.
falls off the rails, and then you have a backup. But that being said, I mean, obviously Antti Ranta is not
He's not the guy.
he's not the guy, and I don't think Carolina looks too scary, but I don't think the Bruins look too scary either, because they don't have Tuukka Rask. They've had Tuukka Rask in the playoffs for, I mean, years now, and I think switching to Linus Ullmark, who I know a lot of Bruins fans have taken issue with for his play this year, and he's making like what, 4 or 5,
4.5.
or Jeremy Swayman, who's relatively untested. It would probably take a huge effort by one of those guys. Not to mention, I think the Bruins are really top heavy, and if you can stop that Perfectin line, if it gets united,
It won't.
If it gets united in Game 3, if they can't get anything going in the first two, and if they can stop it still, then I see a lot of trouble for the Bruins in this matchup, and that's what I'm predicting, anyways.
I think, I mean, the Bruins' problem in the playoffs the last 2 or 3 years has always been the depth scoring. Like what you've been saying is, like when that top line gets stopped, especially when it's all three of them together, it doesn't work well. But now that I think they spread out the lines a bit, and that second line is really cruising right now too, and the third line's been playing great as well, I think that gives the Bruins a much better shot this year than they've had in years past, where Marchand, Pasta, or Bergie has a bad game and we can't get any goals. Like I think they have a better shot at scoring than they did in years past.
Fair enough.
I think the Bruins' third line is a little inconsistent to call the best one in hockey, because they went about like 12 games with like 1 point, and then they started going off. So that's something to watch. I think they match up. I think their lines match up pretty good actually with Boston if Jordan Staal is in.
No, he is. He rested last game. That's
okay, so yeah, he's probably in for. I assume they're taking out Derek Stepan.
I think he's usually the third line center.
So I think their lines match up well, because they have Seth Jarvis with Aho and Svechnikov, like DeBrusk playing with, because he's still playing line 1, right?
Yes, DeBrusk has been lighting it up.
Yeah, so that's like DeBrusk playing with Bergie and Marchand, and then you have Domi, Trocheck, Teravainen, which is similar to is it Howla Hall and Pastrnak.
Yep, and Pasta coming back, I think, right. That Bruins right now is, if they can stay healthy, I think they look really good, because Pasta went on a tear when the new year came, and I think if that second line can be lightened up, especially Taylor Hall, if he's actually playing to what he should be playing to, then I think that that helps their chances.
I think everything is similar, except the Carolina Hurricanes have a better fourth line. Martin Necas, Kotkaniemi, and Martinook.
Yeah.
That line can actually produce some goals because of Martin Necas.
Yeah, Martin Necas is great this year on my team. Not
true, but I think our fourth line brings some more toughness. But I think it'll be a good series to watch regardless.
Yeah, it'll be
and one that we'll have to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Well, then we can go down to
the marquee,
the second best young Russian goalie in the league team versus the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Versus the Casey DeSmith wagons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I assume number 1 is Pyotr Kochetkov.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the third string for the Canes.
Yeah.
Kochetkov.
I have Pens in 6.
I have Pens in 6.
I have Pens in 5.
Wow, I have Pens in 7.
Fair enough.
I did not think it was going to be unanimous, and I think this is going to be. I was really close to going either way on this too.
This was an extremely biased pick from me because I hate the Rangers. So if anybody wants to talk about why
they can't score in 5v5.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, you're going to be getting a lot less power plays.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
well,
if they can't get
unless
a power
Bettman,
play,
unless Bettman flexes his awesome power,
he does
but
love the Rangers and
he's going to
Golden
be
Knights.
busy doing that for Toronto.
True.
I don't know. I don't think if they can't get a power play, they can't score a goal, which means it's just the Penguins eventually squeaking one by Shesterkin. And DeSmith's been pretty. I know everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Rangers easy win because DeSmith is starting." DeSmith's been pretty good lately. And then everyone's like, "It doesn't matter when Jari comes back because he's butts in the playoffs." But as I did
It's
with
1
Toronto,
year,
yeah.
I'm throwing past playoffs at the door.
One
enough.
COVID year. I'm not worried at all about Jari in the playoffs once he comes back. I don't know when he's supposed to be back, but with the broken foot. But Casey DeSmith, like Nick said, has been more than serviceable, and especially with Louis Domingue. The one game he played, Casey DeSmith looked like a god out there after having to watch Louis Domingue. So
I can't believe that guy's still like making NHL ice.
well,
I don't remember a good
How
game
did
he's
you,
had.
Chris?
huh?
How did Louis Domingue do? I
He
thought
did
he played
horrible.
one game and got a shutout.
No, he played one game and had 40 saves against the Sharks earlier in the year, but he played again against someone, Philly. I think it was Philly, and the team didn't play because the game was pointless.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they didn't care, but yeah, Louis Domingue couldn't make any saves.
Yeah, the Caps said the same thing where like Zach Foucault played like 3 games, so now he's the dude they always show for like the goals against average on the NHL app, even though he played 3 games.
Like Corey Schneider.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but this matchup, like you said, 5-on-5, I don't. Now the Penguins only scored, I think, one 5-on-5 goal. Wow, against the Rangers this year.
Bingo card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you had
mark
that
that off.
on the bingo card, then that's crazy. Yeah, now the Penguins didn't play this team great at 5-on-5, but I honestly don't remember last time we played them, but I'm confident against them because our depth is significantly better than theirs, and yeah, I mean, Shesterkin, everyone's ready to hand him the Vezina and the Hart and everything, but I mean, what did he even play? Did they even make the playoffs last year?
No.
So everyone crapping on Jari and how he did last year in the playoffs. Shesterkin didn't even play in the playoffs. So why are people so confident he's gonna just roll right into the playoffs and act like it's the regular season? Because I mean, well, we've seen from the Leafs that whole teams cannot do that
Right.
at times.
Right. Ed, to comment on that, actually, Shesterkin has never played a game in the playoffs, so who knows? He might crumble.
This team does not have
Or might play on
has 0 playoff experience
Yeah.
in the past like 4 or 5 or 3-4 years. So I think that's gonna really hurt them. I think their depth is a bit worse than the Penguins, purely based on like experience, because their depth is very young and very inconsistent.
I'll say.
I think here's my 2 cents on this. I think if Pittsburgh can play like a really close defensive game and then has like really really good penalty killing and like gets the goals and then just holds on to them as best they can, I think they can win this. Honestly, I think if the Rangers are getting a 2-goal, 3-goal lead, I think it's hard for Pittsburgh to come back against this team. They have a lot of offensive weapons, and I think that's going to be hard for a
Penguins
team
don't?
that.
The
I think
Penguins don't have
I
offensive
think Pittsburgh
weapons?
does. I think Pittsburgh does, but I think that I would take the Rangers' younger offense over Pittsburgh in certain cases, especially the power play. The Rangers' power play is disgusting, and I think
He had
if
the second or third best PK in the league this year.
yes, yeah, I know, I recognize that, and I think that's why it's going to be difficult for them to score on it. But that's why I'm saying that's why I went with Pittsburgh in 7. Is that I think that they can squeak it out in the end, but like you said, an untested team in the playoffs. I also really don't like them, but I honestly this series could go either way.
In my eyes, playoffs
Yeah.
all about experience, so you'll see that through a lot of my picks.
I
Fair
believe
enough.
you, but I also recognize that teams like the Caps and Pittsburgh have struggled to get out of the first round. So I think this is going to be a tough series for them as well.
Fair enough.
Chelsea. Only reason I didn't have a sweep is because I think Shesterkin probably steals one game.
Their
If he's
defense,
good.
their
If he's
defense also blows the Rangers.
They have a lot of holes.
Oh,
and I think
they have like
don't see those.
their depth defense blows.
True. Yeah.
Like they have Adam Fox, they have
He's a forward.
True.
they have Adam Fox, and they have Jacob Trouba, and then after that, it's like Lindgren plays with Fox. He's very inconsistent, and he has no offense. Keandre Miller, that guy's so overrated.
Blows. Yeah,
That guy's so overrated. And then Patrick Nemeth, Braden Schneider, third pairing is not great.
I also
don't really know
I
who
worry
Schneider
about
even is.
I worry about Kopp in this series too, because I think adding him to their offense was so good, and if they can take that piece and just try and steamroll through them offensively every game, I think it's possible. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup, especially if they can get pieces like Jari and Zucker back.
Yeah, I think
Although,
he's not starting the series.
I think it's really based on the Rangers' second line, because their first line's not going to match up very well with the Penguins. I think Frank Vetrano is going to get destroyed.
No.
Matching up against Jake Gensel. Yes, he will.
I think so too.
And so yeah, I think it's purely based on the Rangers' second line, which it's a really good second line. But I don't know. I mean, Strome against Gino's winning that every day. But yeah. So I think their fourth line is literally just gonna try to push you around. And
Trouba.
their
I think
third
Trouba's gonna
line,
be laying boomers. That's another thing. Is how the Pens gonna.
No, the guy who's the goon
Brian
on the
Boyle.
Rangers now is that kid Dryden Hunt.
Yes, but I also
He
think
stepped in for everyone.
Trouba is a big dude, and he blows people up. So I think
Brian Boyle.
Pitt's gonna have to have an answer for that for sure. And I hope it's Brian Boyle. I hope he can do
But
that.
I mean, Trouba like
Brian Boyle.
he does lay some hits, but I mean like
he lays big hits.
I would say Lindgren probably hits more than him.
Oh yeah, this got me.
Big Boilermaker.
But
Watch out
yeah,
for him.
their third line is. I think their third line is going to really struggle. The Lafreniere, Cheadle, Kako, because those are three kind of disappointing prospects so far.
Apparently, Lafreniere has like some of their. I saw this stat like a while ago, but he is one of the highest. No. Yes, but he has one of the highest even strength like goal or point counts for them.
Yeah,
because all their points come on
because he doesn't play on the power play.
Yeah, and he only plays like even strength points.
That's why they're like, oh, he'd be good if he played first power play, but like
his even strength goals are like crazy.
So.
But but their power play one is disgusting. I mean, I think made a living on that. I can't remember his name right now, but Kreider. Oh, the dude who runs into goalies. He makes a living on that.
Speaking of guys that run into goalies, quick sidebar. Everyone knows how Jari got injured, right?
Okay. No.
Anders Lee.
Yeah.
Was it?
Anders Lee. He trucked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the freight trains come through, you want to get off the tracks.
I think their third line is going to get
run through
pushed
the
around.
Freight train to the golf course.
It'll be interesting how the Penguins match up their bottom six, because I think if they match up the Carter line, the McGinn, Carter, Kapanen with their third line, as in the Rangers' third line, the Rangers are going to get pushed around hard. So it might be better to match that lineup with the Rangers' fourth line, because that's their line that like hits.
True.
I think the Bluger line, depending on who he's skating with, will probably be put on one of their top two lines.
Okay.
But
I mean, is that the best defensive line?
Depending on who they put with him, yes.
Yeah.
If Boyle's on his line,
Boyle, Rodriguez.
If Boyle's on his line, then no, because Boyle's too slow to guard most top six.
Yeah. But I mean, Zucker is out for game one, but he's coming back. Will he go to line 3 or 4?
2 probably.
2, and then Heinen moves down.
Yep.
So then McGinn would join 4.
Likely.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
I think if they're smart, they put that up against the Rangers' second line.
As a little wrap up for like these first rounders in the East, these matchups, every one of these series I would watch. This sounds like such a good playoffs for these teams. It's all these teams are like within 10 points of each other easily, and it's
over 100 for the first
they're
time.
all over
in
100.
Which is crazy.
Yep,
There's too
because
much
the East
scoring
is
this
just a
season.
way better league, a way better like group of teams than the West by a mile. And I'm just excited to watch these games. I think it's going to be entertaining, every single one of them. Especially Toronto, Tampa Bay. I think that series is going to be so fun to watch, just
Yeah,
because of
that's
just because of the names on the ice for that. Oh, I'm
That's
hyped.
All right. Are we moving on to the West or doing second round?
Sounds like a good
No,
plan.
let's go to the West.
Also, I didn't know Nathan Beaulieu was on the Penguins.
What?
Yeah, we got him. He's been on LTIR.
Why didn't I
since
know
we
about
got him.
this?
He's been hurt the whole time.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back for playoffs though.
Is he gonna
That's
play?
No,
Unfortunate.
Yeah,
about
probably
Louis
not.
Dominique?
But like if like
An
Chad
injury.
Chad Ruedel had a really bad game,
Can they put?
Rudel's been pretty good this year.
I know. But if he played like terrible in a game, he might go in.
Can they get Louis Dominique some different pads, and he can play like he can
No.
play fourth line?
He can play for the Rangers if he wants to.
If they pull Pooch Icy.
What's the first one? It's the Avs one.
Yep.
Okay.
Avs Nashville. I have Colorado in 5.
I also have Colorado in 5.
I have Colorado in 4.
I have Nashville in 7.
Wow, that's
Well, elaborate.
you can explain that
Um,
one, yeah.
I think Colorado wins the first 2 games of the series outright. But my take is purely based on UC Saros coming back at some point during
Is he
the
hurt?
He's out. David Riddick is starting game 1.
Oof.
Yeah. Chris, do you want to change yours to a sweep? No.
Riddick has been kind of shaky as of late. Did you guys see the clip of him like running into the crossbar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that
So I think they will lose the first 2 games, but if they get Saros back, I think they climb back into that series. So yeah, I take Nashville in 7. I think they could push the Avs around. I think if they win that game, it's going to be purely based on physicality, because the Avs are a lot of scoring and a lot of small. And
Like Gabe
Gabriel,
Landeskog
and Gabriel Landeskog. He's one dude.
Devon Taves.
I gotta say,
And
Devon
Travis
Taves?
Travis
He doesn't hit.
McDermott.
I was gonna say
You said
Delorier-
Devon
wait, is Delorier-
Taves.
McDermott is
No,
a
Delorier
scumbag.
is Delorier on the Avs or is he on the?
He's on the
the-
Wild.
He's
Okay.
on the Wild.
It's in the wild.
I can't
will
believe you
say,
said Devon Taves, Matt.
He's not small.
He's like 5'11".
No, he's
What
a
are you
big
talking
boy.
about? He's like
a big boy.
6'5".
he's big.
He's not
Yeah.
6'5".
He's
He
a
is
big boy. Let
not
me check here.
6'5". I know that for sure because he's on my team in show. He's 6'1".
Okay,
So
that's not
there you go.
5'11". That's not small.
It's not 6'5".
Oh, he's like
Well, it's
smaller
not
than me.
5'11".
It's small for a
You're
defender.
saying he's
my
like
weight.
Nathan Gerby.
I was 2 inches off. You were 4.
Okay.
All right,
But
let's
his
move
6'1"
on.
is not
Let's
small.
move on.
Anywho.
Let's move on. I
He's
think
a $192. I mean, he's not a small guy.
He's the same size I am.
He doesn't hit.
He's not Borowiecki.
No, he's not Borowiecki.
He doesn't hit.
But that's what
Okay,
Travis
can
McDermott's for.
Can we move on? I was gonna say, like the Avs just had 2 dudes who like got fined or suspended. Or, no, it's just fines actually for like doing scummy plays, and I think that's gonna be kind of the picture of this series. Is that Nashville does have a lot of dudes who like to play physical, and I think their home barn is gonna be a tough place to play in. But at the same time,
It's winnable.
it is winnable.
You can win in their barn.
Thank you, Chris, for bringing up that cup.
Who cares?
But I think that overall Colorado is just like miles ahead of this team, and especially without UC Saros. And mine is specifically because I don't think that they can even get a game with David Riddick in net. As good as Roman Yossi's been this year, but I don't think that they can even get a game. I think I'm going with the 4-game sweep.
Fair enough.
They, I don't know. I think they have a lot more dudes who will hit than the Avalanche.
They certainly do, but there's other teams that the Avalanche have played against this season that have been much more physical that they've been able to beat.
And the other guy that got suspended, like Logan O'Connor, that dude's not really scummy.
No, he's not.
Oh, and he's probably just a dude they had playing because
And
they were arresting people.
the Curtis McDermott, yes, he is a scumbag,
Curtis
but
McDermott.
That hit with Foligno, that was 100% on Foligno.
Yeah,
I gotta
I
say,
mean,
Instead of taking the hit, he jumped out of the way and like threw his leg into him.
Colorado is a scummy team. I don't know if I like that take also because I would say that I'd take Colorado to be pushing people around.
we're
in this series
we're
more
also
than others.
forgetting about Nazem Kadri.
You're forgetting about Nazem Kadri. You're forgetting that Nate
One of the
McKinnon is
scummiest
kind of a
players in the league.
psycho, especially this
He has
season.
been a snapshot this season. This is
And
true.
Gabriel Landeskog is Rantanen's probably the softest dude in that team, but
He's
Kadri's
not
McCarr.
small either.
Hale
Makar,
McCarr is the
yeah, that's
softest guy on that team.
I forgot about him. I think the biggest question in that for Colorado is whether their goaltending can actually be as good as it's been.
Yeah.
In front of
I'd
their,
take the gamble on Kemper over Riddick, though.
Oh,
I
for
would
sure.
absolutely. Just also because Colorado's defense is better. Like they have more than just one elite defender; they have two. So
And Eric Johnson's no slouch.
Yeah, they have Johnson
Although they
and
do have
Johnson
Jack
at law.
Johnson.
they have Jack Johnson. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
you meant by elite defender, right, Ben?
So
Master-
yeah,
Masterson-
that
Masterson
could easily get abused if Jack Johnson like is playing a good amount.
True.
Which his
Also-
his
But I
stats are
don't
okay because he's on the Avalanche, but
I
like
don't think
Here's
they
a
lose that
stat I
series
saw
because
for
of
you.
Jack Johnson. Like
Jack
that's something-
Johnson has never won a playoff round.
Really?
boom, they could lose the series because of Jack Johnson, man.
Fair enough.
Um,
I'm changing my thing. Preds
Very
and
true.
four.
also,
Yeah. I'm going Nashville in 4.
they have Mark Borowiecki.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
Curtis McDermott, Mark Borowiecki, and they also
That's
have.
a fight I
don't,
would like to see.
That's
They're not going
a
to fight in playoffs.
I don't know if he's going to be back. Okay, it says he's supposed to be back very soon. This is 3 days ago. But Jeremy Lauzon, that dude is also a scumbag. So
Just look where he
He
came
is.
from.
Why?
He's a big dude.
he'll probably go in and take out Jeremy Davies, I assume. But yeah, Yossi Fabro, right? It'll probably. Well, is Ekholm like? Did they rest him or something? Because he's not in their injured list.
Probably. Yeah,
So, yeah.
anyone that's not on the injured list was
Yeah.
rested. It's just
Their third pairing would probably Borowiecki Benning or Borowiecki and Lauzon, and then their second pairing would be Carrier and Ekholm. So yeah, I think all those dudes could get pushed around, but they could also get torched by the Avs.
All right,
Fair
let's
enough.
Let's move on to the next one.
St. Louis, Minnesota. Who you got, Ben?
I've got Minnesota in 5.
Nick,
Minnesota in 6.
I got Blues in 7.
I also have Blues in 7.
Before we say anything, this has got to be the closest series
Agreed.
of all of them. So I would
Yeah.
not be surprised if St. Louis wins in 5, 6, 7. I don't think there's going to be a sweep. I'd be surprised at that, but I think this is close either way. These teams match up.
This is definitely going to
Pretty
be
well.
the series that I probably follow the closest. This is going to be a 6 series, I think.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
like-
it will as well.
I mean, Minnesota's such a sick team to watch because they have that speed, that skill. Chris, can you
And that
minimize
size.
what other
You're
people are
echoing,
talking?
Nick. You're echoing, Nick.
I'm echoing.
Not
Yep.
me.
Thanks, Chris.
I am.
It's not me. 'cause I
It was
can-
you, I promise. I saw.
Okay, I have noise suppression on.
But anyway, yeah, Minnesota is so fun to watch with like Kaprizov and that first line. Is that first line or second line? I don't even know. But that line with Kaprizov playing on it is
it's
just so
second.
fun to watch. Plus, they have that like goon, get in your face forecheck line, which is really fun to watch too. Plus,
You got in your face forecheck team.
yeah, okay,
That's
fair enough.
kind of yeah. It's just beat the crap out of you.
But yeah, no, and then the Blues have been really good lately, right? They've been kind of heating up going into Yas. Plus, they have some pretty good first couple lines that I like watching.
They've got a lot of
especially with, like,
experience,
Kai
too.
Rubin.
Their center depth is probably one of the best in this whole
Oh yeah, dude,
in all the playoffs.
for
They
sure.
have 3 really really good centers.
Blues?
Yeah, the Blues.
Braden Shen.
Rob Thomas
Oh, Bob Thomas. Okay, I forgot about him.
and
Yeah.
And
O'Reilly.
a beast.
Yeah, he's
And
been really
O'Reilly.
good.
O'Reilly. Yeah.
That's 3.
I just think for me this series I kind of decided over defense and goaltending again, like I've kind of been doing with a lot of these teams. I love Flower and I love Talbot the way that they both played this year. I think either one of them could get the nod game 1. I would probably lean towards Flower to get to get it, but it could also be Talbot. And Nickus would probably go with Talbot.
Right now, well, I'm just saying right now, Talbot, since Flower was traded, he has better stats.
He's been great. Yeah,
He's
and
like 8-0
honestly,
and 2 with like a 950 save percentage or something.
And I think Flower, he's been getting more games at the end of the year, so I think they're going to start with him. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's like if they lose game 1, they're putting in Talbot game 2. You know,
Yeah.
I think this team, especially with Billy G as GM, like this team's ready to win. You know it, and their defense, Jared Spurgeon, Dumba, really good.
Middleton, the like
And I
boneless
take
Crystal
them
Tang guy.
over Billy Fuso and what's that? Whatever that bum's
In the
name is.
air.
Yeah, the backup Bennington.
Like he doesn't know Jordan Bennington's name.
Stanley Cup champion Jordan Bennington.
Never heard of him.
Ruinskiller,
I
Jordan
take.
Bennington.
He's been asleep the last 3 years. I take him. I take Minnesota over St. Louis all day, and I think Minnesota's going to come in and blow him out of the water.
I find it interesting that you brought up because playoff Fleury.
Brought up what?
Oh, Fleury.
Fleury, because playoff Fleury can be real scary at times.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I think he's going to dominate.
I
meant the other way.
Oh.
Fleury can be elite in the playoffs, and he can also do real bad. So, all right, somebody is echoing. So just turn down if I'm echoing, just turn down my volume in Scrod.
Talking to me?
No, whoever's.
It's Nick.
Dude,
just turn down my volume in Scrod.
I promise you, it's yours, Nick.
Do it too, man. Sorry, I got off track. Yeah, no, Billy Huso, I don't know if it's him or Bennington, but they're both been, well, I guess Benner hasn't been great this year, but I don't know. I'm a lot more confident in the Blues lineup, experience. I know you said you think the Wild are ready to win now. They need to have a playoff run or at least make the second round, before they can do that, I think. Because their team's still relatively young.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, the Blues made a deep run with a lot of these same players.
Yeah.
But I think that's a bad comparison because they kind of came in and no one expected them, right? They were like the bottom seed in that.
They were the bottom seed. Yeah.
And they hadn't made a big run. Bennington was a rookie. Like that.
Bennington hadn't.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, you had dudes lead that team to that victory, but I also think that, like Pietrangelo and O'Reilly, but I think that this team has dudes like that, but veterans who are ready to go, like Foligno,
Marcus Foligno is like a perennial bum except for last year and this year.
Okay.
I think you just
I don't think that matters, though. I think that he's been good this year, and I think he's going to continue to be good for this team. And I think Minnesota is going to pound the St. Louis Blues, too, because they, especially that Nick Delorier pickup that they got. Like,
who's their coach?
Berube.
Yep. We know how the Berube teams
play in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm just saying. Trust me, I know.
The Blues will mix it up.
I think that the Blues aren't going to mix it up as much as Minnesota will. Like, I think the Minnesota is going to play even more scummy. I know you've talked about how you think this is one of the scummiest teams in the league right now, and I think that they're going to pound whoever they play.
I think both these teams are. I think both these teams are going to play super physical, and it's going to be a very close series. So it's hard to predict. I think, like Minnesota or St. Louis has had a lot of shared scoring. I think everyone in their top 6 has 20 goals.
I'm not going to fact check you, but I believe it.
Yeah,
I saw a stat that was I think everyone in their top 6. I think two of Barbashev had 20 goals. So I'm looking at now. Barbashev's on line 3. So I think there was a switch. I think
Kyrie's definitely got 20.
Yeah, Kyrie's definitely. I'll check it. Maybe it's 8 because I mean Thomas has 20. Tarasenko has 20. O'Reilly might not. Or I think he does.
He's had a quiet year, and I think that's
Saad has 20. Booch probably has 20. Perron probably has. So yeah, I'll check it right now. So yeah, I think this will be very close. I think it's hard to predict. They both kind of have the same thing, a backup they could turn to if they need to. I mean,
let me say one thing.
Less than Talbot, but
do I look nervous?
I think he's looking very nervous. He's nervous sitting on the bench.
He's
That's
shaking
all
in
it
his
is.
boots.
Binnington doesn't touch the ice for this series. That's my prediction. I don't think they turn to him, even if Husso's awful. I mean, obviously it depends on how bad he is. But if he's like
Gives him
okay,
10 goals in the first period.
I think they turn to him.
Yeah, we could just dig with him.
I mean, with Berube behind the bench, you never know. But Minnesota has 2 starters, where they have like St. Louis clearly has a starter and a backup.
All right, let's move on to the next series here.
Let's move on because we
Shall
still
we?
got 3 more rounds to talk about and
We're
2
already
more
at 49
matchups.
minutes. All right,
Oh,
who's going first for this one?
all right. Yeah, you got it.
Before we even start, it's the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the whole top 9 all have 20
Jeez.
goals.
Good lord,
Thomas, O'Reilly,
Crazy.
Saad, Shen,
that is
Barbashev,
crazy.
Haran, Kyrou, Buchnevich, Teres. Okay, so I was confused because Shen was out, and they had Bozak, and I'm like, no way, Bozak has 20 goals.
Yep.
But yeah, so their whole top 9 has
Other
20 goals.
balls
So
up.
they have a lot of depth scoring. Yeah. So we can do the next one now.
All right, what do you think, Nick?
I have Calgary in 5.
I have
Go
Calgary in
next.
6.
I have Calgary in 4.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Monty G.
I have Dallas in 7.
Yep, knew it was Kevin.
Yeah,
I made the claim weeks ago,
have
and
to
I'm going to
stick
stick
now.
with it. I'm going to stick with it. I'm a man of my
Oh
word.
yeah, you did. That's why.
Let me explain myself. It's the same sort of argument I have for taking Boston in round 1. Calgary, before
You
I
got to
say
take
anything,
that back right now.
before I say anything, Calgary I think is a much better team than Carolina, which may go
They are.
against some people.
If you had to pick one team that's built for the playoffs, I think it's the Calgary Flames.
I think so too. But we have seen what happens when teams are built for the playoffs. Reference Tampa Bay against Columbus a few years back. What happened there? Tampa Bay was
Toronto,
the best
Toronto
team in the
every
league
year.
by a mile, and they got dummied by poopy garbage Columbus in the first round. Now
Hey, they
that's
had
not
Matt
saying.
Duchene.
No, yeah, they did. I wouldn't be
So maybe
surprised.
again.
I would not be surprised if Calgary swept the Dallas Stars. But I'm just taking a hunch that, and it's something I have to stick to, that I think Dallas is a team that could do something in the playoffs. I said if they're going to make playoffs, they might be a problem, and I think they're going to be a little bit of a problem for Calgary. Now, I do think Calgary is heavily favored and will probably win, but I hope I'm rooting for Dallas a little bit here.
So
if you guys have the bracket challenge thing pulled up right now, look at
do.
the stats. They have a matchup analysis on there.
Yep.
And
They're beating
it
like
is
everything.
it is
It's crazy.
terrifying.
Oh,
It is very scary. It's very scary.
2
Okay.
words for you,
It's-
Matt. I got 2 words
What's
on
that?
why Calgary's going to win the series. Dylan Dubé.
Yeah, he's been good.
He is on an
Playoff
absolute
Letterman.
tear as of late. Last time he was in the playoffs, he did pretty good. So if their top 6 is kind of quieted down because these teams do match up fairly well in the top end, I mean Calgary's first line I think is a lot better than what
For sure.
Dallas has to offer, but
I'd say
I think
their top 2
depth
line
wise, Calgary blows them out of the water. So if it comes down to depth scoring, Dylan Dubé is one to watch out for. I think that third line of Dubé, Yarncroke, Coleman is really good.
Yep.
That's
Their
disgusting.
their
That's the
fourth-
second line.
their
in any
fourth
other team.
line is not great. It's Lucic, Adam Ruzicka, and Brett Ritchie. So Ruzicka has been okay filling in for Monahan.
Those are bruisers.
Lucic does his job,
are
and Brett
bruisers.
Ritchie has
Those are
been
total
pretty bad
bruisers.
this year.
Richie's a bum, but Luch is someone who's going to come punch people in the teeth. Which
But
I don't think
think
Dallas is
they
an answer.
definitely have someone scratched. So I'll
So-
look at their roster.
Can we agree that other than Florida Washington, this is the most we pretty much know what's going to happen series?
I would
I'm gonna say-
either that or Colorado, Nashville.
Well,
But,
and Toronto losing.
Yeah, in Toronto. But I am going to say
yeah, I mean, that's
Okay.
definitely happening.
I'm going to say in this series, if Dallas wins, Rupe Hintz is going to have at least 5 goals in this series.
I'm going to say I
think
think
Rupe
Jason
Hintz
Robertson would
scores
have
well.
like 6
Joel
goals in this
Kiviranta.
series if Dallas
Yeah,
wins.
Joe Kiviranta.
If somehow Joe Pavelski and Robertson and Rupe Hintz can pull like a
The
game
rabbit out of
7
the
out of
hat,
their
if you will.
out of their bum, like I guess they have a shot at winning. But I just look at Calgary in every facet. they're just a way better team. Like
Yeah.
I'd take Markstrom over who they start in game one, Ottinger.
Probably.
Dan Vladar. Oh wait. Oh, I thought you meant the other Calgary goalie.
No.
Ottinger or hope he's hurt, right?
I think so.
I haven't
Yeah,
heard
I
anything
think
about
so.
him because he's
I
been
think so.
solid this year. But
If
like,
Dallas starts, then they'll
yeah,
win.
he's hurt.
Yeah.
Kudobin's out. Holtby's out.
Playoff
Oh, then they're
Kudobin.
losing.
So
They're
so
Maybe
so it's
they-
Ottinger and
Playoff
Wedge Wall.
Scotty.
Wedge Wall.
Wedgewall. Yeah, Wedgewall is pretty good.
He's actually been pretty good this year.
Wedgewall's been
Surprisingly.
pretty good. The Dallas picked him
I mean,
up.
I wouldn't.
he
I
also
wouldn't
played on
count your
Arizona.
series on Scott Wedgwood, but
No, only if he's playing for the Arizona Coyotes can he pull out a win.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I think if Calgary, I know the whole reason Brett Ritchie plays is because Brent Sutter loves him. But if they play Trevor Lewis or
Is it Daryl Sutter?
Brent Sutter's his brother.
Daryl
There's like
Sutter.
8 of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
If they play Trevor Lewis or Ryan Carpenter over him, I think there's no doubt in that fourth line being really pretty solid. So
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Calgary wins 4-0. But
I mean,
they're a fun team to watch. I like watching them.
Maybe there's a chance if Tyler Seguin and Radulov and Jamie Benn can
Warhawk.
take 10 years off their life and turn into the players they once were. But I really doubt it.
I think Tyler Seguin could, but I don't think Jamie Benn has a chance.
Even that's a stretch. That dude's way too worried about looking at ladies in the crowd in warm-ups than actually scoring
Yeah.
goals. So
no, I think
Bears gotta
their
play
first
them.
line is pretty good. The
That was a
Robertson,
good
Hintz,
chirp.
Pavelski.
I can't believe I'm hearing Tyler Seguin slander from a Bruins fan's mouth.
that's what I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, well, he's not on this team anymore. So
Peter
All right.
Shirelli.
So-
I think Dallas's first line's really good. I think their second line's going to be very weak.
Hmm.
Ben, Sagan, Gurionov. And then after that, it's kind of a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Kiviranta, Faksa, Glendening, and then Raffle,
team is,
Nemestikov, Radulov's on 4 now.
yeah, Radulov.
You know I hate that guy. I
drafted
hate
him,
Alexander
like,
Radulov.
I hate
140.
Radulov. They made him so good in Shell for like a year or two. He was I'm surprised he doesn't have an X factor.
What are you gonna do?
Dude, I thought he is a superstar.
What?
Yeah,
He hasn't been good in like 4
he's
years.
still like an 85. But
Yeah, like,
I thought their
wow.
defense was better than this. Suter, Heiskanen, Thomas Harley, who I've heard the name, but I couldn't
No
tell you
idea.
if he's good or not. And Issa Lindell, and then Joel Hanley, and I recognize these, and Yanni Hankenpaw.
What
I
about-
recognize
about,
the names, but that's worse than Calgary.
about the-
Laurel
What about
Hankenpaw.
Klingberg?
I was gonna say, where's Klingberg?
Klingberg. Oh, Klingberg. Oh yeah, Klingberg is day to day.
Is he? Okay.
He'll be in.
So
He'll be
So
in.
if he goes in, I assume Thomas Harley or Joel Hanley come
Their
out.
defense is good, but I think
Laurel
Heiskanen's
Hankenpaw.
regressed a little bit. Like he's not as good as he was.
Yeah, he was really good his first year. Then kind of there's been nothing about him.
Whatever. All right,
but
let's
I mean-
move on.
Let's go to
Yeah.
Edmonton, LA.
Also, Calgary is Michael Stone.
Should be a quick one.
I have LA in 6.
Same.
LA in 6. Yeah.
Wow, I have LA in 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
you blew it.
That's crazy.
You blew it, man.
There goes the 4-peat.
That's crazy.
LA has been so sick as of late, dude. Oh my god, Adrian.
Dude,
Kemper
Dustin
and
Brown.
Dustin
I love
Brown.
Dustin Brown. I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna go deep, but I think they're gonna come out and be like, we gotta at least beat Edmonton.
Mhm.
Guys, I really
Dusty
can't
B.
believe we're all on LA. Like this to me was one of the most lopsided series, like
I
on
think so.
paper, just
too.
because they don't have Drew Doughty, and they're missing something else too. But I think Edmonton coming into this is so stacked. But
Yeah.
I think LA somehow squeaks it out in the end.
I
This is kinda
think
what
they
Matt
have a
was
mission
saying.
now.
I think that they're going to come in as underdogs and just try and beat the crap out of Edmonton.
If
I think
LA
they can do it.
if LA gets any kind of goaltending, it's going to be like a 4 or 5 game series, I think.
If
Jonathan Quick has been really good
stands
this
on
He
his
year.
has.
head,
That's what I'm
Quick's
saying.
getting the net. I
That's
think
they're winning
Like,
so
He
many
does.
games.
He does. He has
If
that.
Quick plays like he's been playing, this is going to be a quick series, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, if-
they have 2 top 4 defenders out because Sean Walker got hurt really early in the year and he was done for the year, and then Drew Doughty's out. But I think they are kind of motivated, and I think they're gonna play with a lot of heart.
Plus,
and,
they have that scummy grit line too, with like Brendan Lemieux, Blake Lizotte, I think is on that line. Like
right now it's Lemieux, Rasmus Kupari, and Gabe Velarde. So 2 of those guys aren't scummy, but the one you're thinking of is the Lemieux, Lizotte, and I think Grunstrom.
yes.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to see
Yeah.
Lemieux
All
and,
those dudes hit,
and
so-
Kane go at it, dude. I'm so excited to see Kane and Lemieux just be trying to
Oh,
beat the
dude,
crap out of each other.
that made me respect Brendan Lemieux. I don't like Brendan Lemieux. I hated when he was in the Rangers, but I hate Evander Kane more.
I thought when Evander Kane dummied Brendan Lemieux.
Yeah, and
Talking
Brendan.
about that?
Oh no, I'm
When Lemieux went down like a sack of bricks.
no, I'm thinking of Ryan Hartman flipping him off.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was great.
yeah,
Oh, I
that's
love
great.
that. That was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so
I
their
think I like
defense
Minnesota
is
so much.
their defense is very injured. Edler, Stetcher, Mikey Anderson, Sean Dursey, Oli Mata, Jordan Spence. So yeah, I think Edler. I mean, Edler's solid, but after that, it's kind of weak. But I think
Dursey's had a
I
good
don't
year
know.
actually. I was
Dursey
able to
has?
watch. Yeah, I was able to watch some Kings games because Joe's a Kings fan. We would watch him on the
Yeah.
TV. He honestly walks the line. He reminds me of Kale McCarr when he's playing. Not as good, but he's actually a little bit more solid on defense. So I think he's
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
a pretty
all
good
like
young
all
player.
these.
He's a rookie
like,
too, I think.
A lot of these guys are really young. I mean,
Yeah.
Mikey Anderson's in his second season. Jordan Spence, I don't really know. I assume he's like an AHL guy. And Sean Dursey's very young.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
then-
I like LA. I like LA here.
I mean, you kind of have to play against Edmonton. They know what they have to do,
Yeah.
right? Everyone knows how to beat Edmonton.
You shut
just
down
have to-
line one, you win.
You shut down line one. You shut down McPingus and
other
McDrysaddle,
guy.
and then
It's
you're
over.
good.
It's over after
Like,
that.
But
Pingus
So-
and McGermany.
can you do it? That's the real question. I think I might be wrong here, but can someone fact check me? Is Nurse out for the first game? I'm pretty sure Darnell Nurse is hurt.
Darnell Nurse is day to day. I will fact check it right
Oh,
now.
he's
They do
dead.
not have Oscar Clefbaum. I feel like that guy gets hurt every single season,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He
welcome
never
to
plays.
Edmonton.
and he's like an okay defender. But like,
I don't like
he never
Edmonton in the
plays.
playoffs at all. I think the only way that they have a chance is if McDavid just turns it on and just goes nuts, and then I think that the series would be over very quickly if he does. But
he is supposed to be
shown
ready
that
for
you
game
can't
one.
do that in the playoffs. So I don't know. I think that could be an interesting series. I kind of believe that Edmonton's going to win, but I still trusted that LA could do it. So
The only reason
And
I think
also-
Edmonton actually has a chance is because of the addition of Evander Kane. He's so much better
Yeah.
on that line than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins,
yeah,
and he's
Nugent
been
Hopkins is
scoring a
bum.
lot lately.
Yeah,
So I think if that line's going to turn it on, like now they don't just have to guard only McDavid, because
Yeah,
Kane
I-
can also
True.
make plays.
I think like Nugent Hopkins is a solid player. He's just this kind of like a watered down McDavid.
Yeah,
So they need Evander Kane to like pot the goals.
I also think I
If
think
David's the Giga Chad, then Nugent Hopkins is what, like the
The mini
What-
Chad.
what's that meme?
I don't know.
Oh, the Chad and Virgin meme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also think their goalies are gonna like Mike Smith.
Mike Smith's
Mike
got
Smith's
net
supposed to start, and
somehow.
he's been up and down this year. But I like Jonathan Quick more than Mike Smith, and especially in the playoffs.
I could see myself going Edmonton in 5 or 6 here, and I kind of wish I could take that back just so I could be
Can.
different. But
you can.
I don't know.
Faith
LA
in
and
ample
seven.
Dusty
opportunity.
Brown.
I'll go for it. Do
Dude,
it for-
I'm ready. I'm ready for
do it for
Dustin
Dusty
Brown to
too,
score like
Sex.
eight.
I'm ready for
hat
Kempe to.
tricks.
Yeah, I'm ready for Kempe to light it up.
Ons to just go nuts.
And also, like, if
a thing that we haven't talked
their
about yet?
first line, okay.
You're good. You're good. Go.
If their first line has to like shut down McDavid, I think Kopitar is pretty good at that. So.
I think if there's anybody in playoffs right now, at least on a first line role that you'd want doing that, it's Ante Kopitar.
I would actually disagree with both of you on that. I think it's going to be
Patrice
their.
Bergeron.
Nope. I think it's going to be the LA's second line center who's going to be shutting down McDavid.
Well,
Like,
that's a good point. I forgot about
No,
Danault.
not Danault.
I completely.
because
Oh
he's-
yeah, where's Danault?
That's
one of
They
the-
must have arrested him.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. This team is actually just built to shut down McDavid, isn't
They're
it?
built to
Yeah,
shut
yeah,
down.
I completely forget. Yeah, because he's not
top
in the
line
lineup, but he's scratched. But yeah, because Philip Danault did it when he was on the Canadians last
He
year.
had a sick year too.
He's gonna
McKinnon-
clamp McDavid.
It's gonna be
Nathan
awesome.
McKinnon considers him like the hardest center to play against defensively. Like
I'm not surprised.
he clamps him up, and
Yeah.
if he's clamping up McKinnon, he can clamp up McDavid. I kind of stole that from Chicklets.
He's
Sorry.
he's
But
like
I'd
the
also
same
believe it.
thing.
If you're listening, to this,
He's like the
Bills.
same thing as the watered down
If you're-
McDavid.
yeah,
He's like
if you're
a
listening,
watered down
Bills.
Kopitar. Because he has worse scoring, but he has equal if not better defense.
Mm.
So yeah,
You got
with
the
him
big
in,
schnoz.
I assume the lines change a bit because here it has Lazard on line 2.
Yeah, I think the no goes
Yeah.
in at line 2, and then Lozat goes down with Lemieux.
Yeah.
At least that's how they were playing.
And then Grunstrom probably goes back there because I mean Gabe Velarde they don't really like Gabe Velarde. He's been up and down, but they as soon as he starts playing bad, he's like out of the lineup.
Really?
Yeah. So he's playing fourth line wing right now. I mean, so he'll probably if he's playing on line 3, that's like their like prospect line because then it's Velarde, Byfield, Kaliev. Which how has Byfield been?
I don't know.
No
I have
I've only
no
seen him play a
idea.
couple games.
Probably not great
Not that
because
good,
I
I
haven't
don't
heard
think.
much talk about him.
He scored his first career goal against the Islanders in like game 35 of the season.
Yeah, that's all I saw.
So,
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet. He's still not
Pretty
really
nice goal.
developing. So.
He has 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in 40 games.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
yeah,
bad.
he's doing a fourth line stat line.
guy kind of looked like Cal Clutterbuck.
Kind of look like
You
Jack
think he
Johnson.
looks like Cal Clutterbuck?
Well, with that stat line.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I
I
said
don't
Jack
think he looks
Johnson.
like Cal Clutterbuck at all.
Oh, no voice. Okay, Matt, let's move on.
So what I want to do now is what we can do. Each of us can just go through what we have for the remainder of the playoffs without talking about it, and then we can like do like second round matchup stuff when it comes up. So just, 'cause
Yeah.
we're already at an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so
I'll
let's
start
just run
then.
through the rest of
To
our
go back
bracket.
to my we'll start with the East again. I have obviously I said I had Florida beating Washington, so I have Florida against Tampa Bay in the second round. I have Florida winning that. I have
Yep.
Boston against Pittsburgh. I have Boston winning that. Then I have Florida beating Boston, Florida in the finals. On the West, I have Colorado and St. Louis in the second round. I have Colorado winning that. I have Dallas and the Kings. I have the Kings winning that. And then I have Colorado in the finals, beating the Kings. So I have Colorado, Florida in the finals, and I have Florida winning the Cup because I think whoever comes out of the East is winning it.
Well, Matt,
I'll say one thing. I think it's bold to have the 2 top seeds
Yep.
in the final.
that's what
Fine
I was
with me.
gonna say. It's
Yep.
very
Fine with
bold
me.
to just put the 2
Anything
best
can happen in
teams there.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Anything can.
Yeah.
I think it's bold to. It's not too bold to assume that Boston will beat Pittsburgh in round 2. All right, let's move on.
Got to make round 2.
I think it's bold for them to be there. All right, I can go. I have Nashville versus Minnesota. For oh wait, we're starting. Whatever. I started with the West. I have Minnesota winning. I have Calgary versus LA. I have Calgary winning. Then I have Calgary beating Minnesota. I have Florida, Toronto. I have Florida winning, and Carolina, Pittsburgh. I have Pittsburgh winning. And then I have Pittsburgh beating Florida, and I have Calgary winning a Stanley Cup.
Fair enough.
Wow, I
gonna be
thought
hard to
I'd
win
never
that.
hear the day
It's going to be hard to
Nick
win
is
the Cup
picking
when they lose to
Canes.
Dallas.
for the Cup.
What? I just picked the Flames.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
I thought you said
Calgary.
Hurricanes.
No.
That's
He had
what
Calgary. He had Calgary, Pittsburgh, and had Calgary winning it.
Wow. Picking the West on the East.
So I will say it's going to be hard for Calgary to make the finals when they lose to Dallas, but go ahead.
I think
Yeah.
they honestly just the teams that are in their division or like their road to the Cup probably have one of the easiest paths. in
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. People have already said they have the easiest path to the finals.
They're easily the like the Canadian team was the best shot to get in.
Especially if Colorado
So-
gets bounced at any point.
Yeah.
Before like if Calgary made it to the conference final and they had to play someone other than Colorado.
All right, I'll do mine next. So I'll start in the East, like as I should. I have the Panthers playing the Lightning, and I have the Panthers beating the Lightning for that. And then I have Boston versus Pittsburgh, and I have Boston beating Pittsburgh there. And then I have for the West, I have Colorado playing Minnesota. I have Minnesota winning that series, and then I have Calgary versus LA, and I have Calgary winning that. And I for the East for conference finals, I have Boston beating Florida, and then for the West, I have Calgary beating Minnesota, and then the Boston Bruins, of course, would win and beat the next Stanley Cup champions.
Oh man.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Better win it before Game 7.
Just
So
made a caps bracket, I guess.
in the East,
I think they can do it. I actually have faith in my team. So
Fair enough.
Yeah. So to round everything out with,
I was going to say, there's no chance Chris doesn't have the Penguins winning.
round everything out with a
I was
bracket
gonna say.
of a team that actually has a shot.
Oh my god.
So yeah, first round I've got Florida, Tampa. I have Tampa winning. Sorry, second round. Tampa beating Florida. Then I have Pittsburgh over Carolina. In the West, I've got St. Louis over Colorado. LA over Calgary. and then I have Pittsburgh, St. Louis in the Stanley Cup final with the Penguins winning. And I will not reveal the number of goals I had because it's the right number.
Wait, who'd you have? 69. Who'd you have coming out of the Pacific?
The Kings.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Kings, St. Louis, Tampa, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wins over St. Louis.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, I didn't make a Ben, I don't have faith in my team in this bracket because I have the same bracket for the NHL one. If I win that, I can win something. So
Fair enough.
True, but I believe the Bruins have a good shot this year.
I believe anyone has a shot.
Especially
In
if the
playoffs, you can win the
Rangers,
cup.
if the Rangers don't
Playoffs.
can't beat Pittsburgh.
Okie dokie then, fellas.
That's pretty good, guys. I
Is
mean, I don't
anything,
think we didn't have any awful picks. I think we definitely have some questionable ones, or some hot takes, like
people
we're always
do.
delivering on here.
Some people
But
do.
Yeah, I think two of the brackets are
Couldn't be
pretty
me.
hot in takes.
all right, yeah, that's a
All
good
right.
one.
I agree.
I was one of them, the hot flames, I guess.
No, one
okay.
of them is very, very hot.
All right.
I get it because the
Well-
flames are hot. Anything that
Okay,
grinds
that's
anybody's
not
gears-
me.
That was a good joke. That was a really good joke, Nick. I like that.
I mean, the Bruins are going to win the cup, is what I mean.
All right, Ben, since you opened it, why don't you close it out?
Yeah, why don't you beatbox us out, Ben?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that this time.
If
I
the
will
Bruins
do
win the
that
cup, Ben will do it.
I will do that, absolutely.
If the Bruins win the cup,
Actually-
Ben will karaoke
And we'll
Sweet
freestyle rap.
Caroline. Or what song did the Bruins beat? Shipping Up to Boston.
Or dirty
got it.
water.
And I will make it into a music video. Deal?
Actually, one last thing before I close it out for us. I would like to say that I am owed a rather large sum of money for being this year's victor for fantasy hockey, for having the best team.
I'm cutting it
league.
before you started saying that.
I can't believe he actually.
I am
We'll
owed.
trim that out.
Yeah, I'm cutting it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop my recording. Thanks for watching,
Well-
guys.